Welcome to Kids Adventure Club. Let the adventure begin.
Far, far away, past mountains of rice and rivers of broth, there lay a kingdom unlike any other. It was not made of stone castles, nor of shining palaces, but of one enormous bowl of noodles. The bowl was so vast that villages floated like dumplings on its surface, and bridges of chopsticks stretched across the broth. Steam rose into the sky, forming gentle clouds that rained soy sauce and snowed sesame seeds. In the very center of this grand bowl lived Princess Luma. Princess Luma was a kind, curious girl with hair that shone like golden egg noodles. She loved nothing more than noodles, their taste, their shapes, their joyful twirls. Each morning she would greet the broth with a bow, then gather noodles in her silver chopsticks. She slurped happily, her laughter ringing like bells across the steaming bowl. But Luma did not keep her noodles only for herself. Whenever strangers wandered into her kingdom, hungry merchants, weary travelers, or lost children, she welcomed them with a warm smile and a heaping portion of noodles. "Food is love," she would say, "and noodles are happiness." One quiet night, while the moon floated like a rice cake above the sky, Princess Luma sat at the edge of her bowl palace. She listened carefully, for she believed noodles could sing. And indeed, when the wind brushed across the broth, the noodles hummed softly, like strings of a harp. Suddenly, one long noodle lifted itself from the soup and wrapped gently around her wrist. Its glow was faint, like starlight, but it pulsed with warmth. "Princess," it whispered, though no one else could hear. "You have given much love through noodles. Now it is time for noodles to give their love to you." Before Luma could answer, the broth rippled like a mirror of liquid gold. The noodles began to rise, twirling in circles around her. Steam wrapped around her shoulders, lifting her gently into the air. Then, whoosh! Wings unfolded from her back. They shimmered like rice paper, translucent and delicate, patterned with sesame sparkles and soy sauce swirls. The princess gasped in wonder. She had become a fairy. From that night onward, Princess Luma was no longer just a princess. She was the Noodle Fairy, a guardian of warmth, kindness, and food. Her wings carried her beyond the borders of her great bowl. She flew across fields of dumplings, over rivers of tea, and through forests of bamboo chopsticks. Wherever she went, she left behind trails of noodle magic. If a family had no food, she sprinkled a pinch of broth dust into their pot, and noodles would appear, steaming and fresh. If travelers quarreled, she tied them together with a single strand of friendship noodle, which could never be broken until they laughed together. The people of every land began to tell stories of her. Some called her the Fairy of Comfort, others the Guardian of Soups. But to children she was simply the Noodle Fairy, who visited at night and blessed their bowls with extra flavor. One day, a cold wind swept across the land. The broth in Princess Luma's great bowl began to freeze, and the noodles stiffened into icy ropes. Without the broth's warmth, the entire kingdom grew sad and silent. Princess Luma flew to the center of the bowl, where the broth was darkest. There she found a frost spirit, shivering and angry. "I am hungry," said the spirit, "but I have no one to share food with me. So I have frozen your bowl, so no one else may eat either." Luma did not scold the spirit. Instead, she smiled gently and broke a small piece of her magical noodle wings. She dipped it into the icy broth, and it became warm again. She handed the steaming noodle to the frost spirit. The spirit's eyes softened as he tasted it. For the first time, he smiled. "You shared with me, though I wronged you. Your kindness is greater than any magic." With a breath, he released his icy spell, and the broth bubbled once more. The kingdom was saved. From then on, Princess Luma's legend spread far and wide. Some say she still lives in her great noodle bowl, resting in the steam. Others believe she roams the skies, watching over every pot of soup in the world. But it is said that if you look carefully into your bowl of noodles, just before you take a bite, you might see a sparkle of light. That is Princess Luma, the Noodle Fairy, blessing your meal with warmth, friendship, and joy. And so, the princess who loved noodles became the fairy who fed the world, forever and ever.
Kids who love their mom and dad, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.